Hey everyone, and welcome to the 71st episode of We're All in the Same Boat. I'm your host, Luke Roxwold, and today I am here with Shayne.
Hola.
Nick.
What's up?
And Jordan.
Good evening, Vietnam.
And as always, you can check and as always, you can check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, and you can leave us a review on iTunes by clicking on the iTunes app. Or the podcast app. Sorry. It's the podcast app. Going to the search and typing in We're All in the Same Boat. Scroll all the way to the bottom and hit 5 stars. You don't even have to leave a review. Just click it once and it's done. Boom. You make us all really happy by doing so. Thank you, fans. Follow us on Instagram. And, guys, I can't. Does somebody else want to be a host for this show?
Follow us on Instagram.
We need a run through, man. We need to just do a dry run. Go through
WAIST podcast. And on Twitter, we participate, or we do polls. So if you like to participate in the polls, that is the best way to get involved with the podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. That's where you can listen to us. And so everyone,
Instagram.
welcome to the podcast.
I want to emphasize Instagram. If you want to participate, follow us on Instagram, WAITSP podcast. We have polls, questions, pictures, clips. It's great.
Lit.
We want to hear. Yes. Okay. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Shayne, let's start with you.
Oh, hi.
How was your week?
I'm in a very positive place in my life right now. You know what I mean? I'm the best I've ever been. And I believe in a positive mindset and just, everything is good, right? But some reason this week just seems to keep throwing more and more things at me that's just trying to ruin my mood, but I refuse to let that happen. But yeah, it's been a long week. I'll say that. It's been a long week. It's been a long month, actually. So,
it's a shame. Your stories,
what did you do to deserve this?
Your stories always start with let's talk about all of life in the universe. it's like I have this little story about customer service. Well, actually, so in the grand scheme of things, my life over the past year, and it's like, what happened this week?
It all
specifically.
It all coincides together. You need the leading up points,
This
God
is not a Lord of the Rings novel. I don't need the entire
heavens and the earth.
No. It's just a part of because
prologue in every Shayne story.
I have to emphasize the main points, so my frustration is understood. If I just told you the end part, it's it's not as good, right? Okay. So, but it's not long or anything. So, for people who don't know. I have a podcast, and I'm
hey, wait a second.
Wait a second.
I'm not plugging or anything.
Cross promoting.
But yeah, so I'm into branding and merchandising and that type of stuff. So we have T-shirts for our podcast and whatnot. So I have a friend who has she has a hand lettering business, and she does all these type of designs and whatnot. And she designs our shirts for us because I believe in supporting my friends and supporting local businesses, right? Yeah, I think it is pretty cool. And so I order 5 shirts from her for me and my team of people and whatnot, and I pay for the shirts. I tell her this in a week, and I say, hey, I want to order these shirts. I send a full detailed description of how I want each shirt to look like. I send a rough draft of how I want the design on the shirt to look like. I feel like I'm being extremely professional, right? So
always
I message her. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to give you the heads up. I want to order these shirts. I'm going to pay you on Friday, but I just want to give you the heads up. So I don't know if you needed more time to get them ready or whatever. I want to have them as soon as possible. So she's like, oh yeah, great, cool, thank you, yada yada yada. Order the shirts. So waiting to hear from her, don't hear anything. So I message her and say, hey, any update on the shirts? She said, oh yeah, you can pick them up on Sunday. I'm like, cool, great. Sunday comes around. I told her I probably can come Sunday afternoon. Sunday comes around. I messaged her, hey, so when's a good time to come and get the shirts? No response. Okay.
No.
So Monday goes by, Tuesday goes by, no response. So I'm like, okay. I messaged her, hey, so didn't hear from you on Sunday. Like, when can I come get the shirts? Or when can I get the shirts? And she says something about being sick and that she was in quarantine and yada yada. And I was like, okay, but that's cool. That's cool.
What?
Yeah. She said she was quarantined for like the past 5 days. And I said, okay.
Okay, hold up. Was she joking? Like, was she joking when she said quarantine, or was she literally in a vessel to keep her away from other people?
I ignored everything she said. I didn't care what she said. I said, I'm sorry.
You're like, I don't care if a zombie bit you. Where are my damn shirts?
That's exactly. Yeah, I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry you're sick, but like you can still let me know like what's going on. Like being sick doesn't stop you from communicating. And so then she says, can you get them on Friday? I'm like, yeah, I can get them on Friday after this time. So Friday at that time comes around. I message her and say, hey, like I'm gonna come get my she said come over Friday because she's free all day Friday. So I said, okay, I get off of work at this time, I'll come over at this time. I get off of work, text her, hey, so I'm about to come over, I said I get off at this time, and then she messages me and says, oh, I'm at a church event that I got volunteered
I don't understand.
Volunteered for.
Like, how do people I couldn't live without a calendar. And so, like, anytime someone says, hey, can you do this thing on a certain day? I, like, open my phone. I go, hold on, pause. And I look. And I'm like, can I do it or not? And if I can, I put it in my calendar. Like, some people I know, they'll just be like, oh, I just forgot. And it's like, do you just remember everything that you do? I can't do that. I put it. There's a reason calendars exist. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So she says, oh, I'm at this church event. But if I'm still here when you leave work, I'll just bring them to you. What's your address? I give her my address and say, okay, I'll just be at home, right? So I guess just come or whatever. So I get off of work. I message her, hey, so what's the plan for the shirts? And she says, oh, I'm still at the event. I'll bring them to you when I get done. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting at home all Friday night because I just don't want to miss out on getting my shirts, right? So, don't get nothing, no response. So I messaged her on Saturday because now I'm just mad. Because now I'm just mad because Friday I had a meeting for like my podcast, and it was our first like official meeting.
I'm getting annoyed for you.
Yeah, first organized.
Legitimately angry.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, we're 2 weeks past when I paid for the shirts already. Like
let me ask you this: you didn't just go to the church and pick up the shirts? You could ask for the key to go get the shirts. I mean, at this point.
I mean, we're getting there.
Or just giving up. Just been like, Pop Talk is over. The shirt never going to get the shirt.
I almost had one of those moments today. But
I guess my podcast is done.
Yeah, so I plan on, I was going to have a meeting on Wednesday, but I pushed it back to Friday so I can have these shirts. It's our first official meeting. I'm trying to be like super business, like CEO, like I respect and love my employees type of like person. So I have this whole meeting set up. I'm gonna like distribute the shirts that I paid for all the shirts for everyone and got them custom, like with their names and stuff on them. Very excited for this moment in my life. So when I did so
living my best life.
Yeah. So I'm sitting at home. To my team. I'm sitting at home like waiting for her to be like, hey, I'm gonna bring the shirts. And so like an hour before the meeting, I'm like, hey, so I have a meeting at 5:30 and I really wanted to give my shirts at the meeting. Like, like what? Like, can I get my shirts? Like, no response. So next,
man, everyone. Like, here's my picture. Can you imagine? I can't imagine getting a text message saying, "Hey, I really need your help. Can you please do what you said you were gonna do?"
Yes.
And then just ignoring it. I can't imagine doing that.
I don't. Yeah. So everyone in my group said, "Oh no, you basically need to like call her out because that's a bunch of like BS." And
It is.
because like at this point, from like a professional standpoint, it's like, okay, you're providing terrible customer service. Like I've paid you weeks ago. You've basically stolen my money at this point. Give me my effing shirts. So
Snap.
so I messaged her Saturday and say, hey, when is there a time like today or tomorrow I can come get my shirts? Saturday, Sunday, nothing, no response.
Oh my
nothing.
gosh.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What in the world?
So like Tuesday, I think.
Really
Fire
getting
her.
Yeah. So
Fire her.
She is. Tuesday.
Oh, man.
Tuesday.
1-star Yelp review.
Yeah. Tuesday.
Well, she's pretty much getting it on this podcast.
So Tuesday, I'm about to message her and just be like, so. Look, I really just need my stuff, so if you just need to put it out in a bag and just leave it on your porch and I can just pick it up, like I'm totally okay with that, like at this point. And so I accidentally, I don't know what happened, but I clicked like the thumbs up button because I'm messaging her on Facebook Messenger.
No.
So I clicked the thumbs up button, so it sends it to her, and then she starts typing back, and I'm thinking that's what you respond to, but
Wait.
You've
Hold
had a
up.
chance.
So you sent her the message saying put it into a bag and leave it
No,
outside.
I'm about to send that, but I clicked the thumbs up thing.
Did she think
Oh,
you were being
jeez.
sarcastic?
I don't
No.
I don't know, but she responded.
It's
She
just
said,
like,
"Whoa."
no, hold up. What did you say right before that? I'm trying to picture because it's like if
No,
you
before
said
that was
something
just
like
no, I didn't say anything before that. Before that was just old messages from past days that she ignored.
no, but think
Oh
about
my
this.
gosh.
Think about this though. Is you've been messaging her
Yes.
and messaging her
I was
saying,
thinking that too. please,
can we please get this stuff? Can I please have these shirts? Please, I'll do anything. And then like at some point you just you just randomly send her a thumbs up like, cool.
right?
It's like-
I even liked a couple of her pictures on Instagram to be like, I'm not mad at you. Like, just give me
Oh
my
my
shirt.
god, dude, no.
Trying to show her.
I
I'd
don't
be
know.
mad.
I'm a nice person.
I'd tell
but
him I'm mad.
Nick's, oh man. Nick,
So-
what would you have sent to her? Just
At
I'm
what
done.
stage? Probably like 2 weeks.
said you'd
in,
tell
I
her
would've
you're
been like,
mad.
What's going on?
I'm mad
Yeah,
at
I
you.
would.
I would have ordered new shirts by now. I would have been
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I want a refund. I've already bought new shirts. Don't bother.
Did you pay her with PayPal? Because I would have just like,
No,
filed something with PayPal
I
at this point, like
yeah.
getting my money back. And if she already printed the shirts, too bad.
Absolutely.
So she says, whoa, I totally didn't see your message. I said, you didn't see my
no.
days and days of messages that I've sent to you?
People are locked to their phone all the time.
I know the amount
Oops.
of social content that she posted within
Actually-
that time frame that I saw was like, are you kidding me? Like,
No, actually
no.
that's
That
kind of
blows my
funny because
mind.
no. Here's the other thing though. I see this sometimes, and I don't know how people do it. In fact, I'm gonna back up. I actually think there's a small part of me that admires people that can do this because good for them. But I also hate it when I'm receiving what comes about this. So I'll look at certain people's phones, like when they unlock their phone, I'll just see the apps, or maybe they're going to show me something and I see all the apps on their phone.
I know where you're
And
going.
they all, no, there's like, I'll look at, and their messages will say, there'll be a badge at the top of the messages. And it's like 35 unread text messages.
No.
And I'm
I
like,
don't understand that.
how? Okay, first of all, either you just know what's going on,
First of all, how are you
or
that
you don't
popular?
care. But it's just like, what? How do you? I just would want to know. Like, it's hard for. I can't help it.
I wish I got 35 unread messages.
Maybe it's a
to
group
go there.
text.
Dude, I comment on it
true,
every time
yeah.
I see that. I'm like, what do you got going on there? Oh, nothing. Nothing.
It's like, oh, this is someone who just keeps texting me about his shirts. It's nothing.
Really paid me $500. No big deal.
This
right,
customer wants my
all
help.
All right, Shayne. So what happened next?
So she says, after she says, whoa, I never saw your messages. She then says, what? So this is Tuesday, right? She then says, what's your schedule for Friday? And so I responded.
Wow.
I'm gonna read verbatim what I said.
Oh man.
It's about to get hot and heavy.
Because at this point, I'm just
Sweating.
pissed. I'm just pissed off. Like at this point.
Yeah. Like, why though? I don't
You
understand.
have all right to be.
Why would you be pissed off? I mean,
I don't understand.
Fire.
So she said, what's your schedule Friday? I said, actually, I really need them before that. I was kind of nice. I said, would it be possible to just leave them in a bag on the porch or something, and I can just come and get them? And then she says, yes. What time would you be by today? And I said, probably close to 3:30 to 4 o'clock. She says, okay, I'll make sure to leave them out.
Oh, no.
She said that. I can even send you a screenshot where she said that. Okay, I'll make sure to leave them out. Sends me her address. Then even says, let me know when you're on your way.
Oh, my
goodness. I said, I'm on my way. I get to her house, and I'm walking up to the porch. Nothing's on the porch.
Oh, no.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How far away was she?
Demand a refund.
It was like a 15-minute drive.
No.
From where I was.
Refund and free shirts, man. That is not acceptable.
That's insane.
Wait.
I've done customer service my whole life. That is not acceptable.
This is the type of person that goes to the professor and goes, yo, I just didn't do the assignment that you said would get no deadline, no extensions. I just didn't do it. And then the professor's like, okay, well, you can have an extension. And in me, like when I was in school, I was always like, deadlines, get everything done on time. I wouldn't even go to the teacher. I'd be like, I missed the deadline, and just forget it. Because it'd be like, I didn't do it. Which actually never really happened.
I had one test I took in college where, I felt like I did really, really well, and then I got an F. I was like, what the heck? I thought I got every question right. And then I went to the professor, and she's like, oh, wow, yeah, this is weird. And then she reran it, and she's like, oh, yeah, you got a B+. And then she looked at it more, and she's like, wow, every test was wrong. And then she had to, like, regrade all the tests.
Oh, man.
So
you're welcome, America. Yeah. No, I mean, I'll fight for my grades. I've gone in so many times being like, hang on a second. This is right. I deserve the credit for this one, But I don't know if I ever missed any assignments. I probably missed like one or something, but my whole thing was I didn't believe in asking for like an extension, but some people, their whole college career is just being like, yeah, I didn't turn it in. Can I just have like extra time? And it's like, what?
I need like another month.
Yeah, that's like that flaky. All right, let's move on. Shayne, keep going.
Okay, yeah. So once I see there's nothing on the porch, she messages me. She says, hey, I just saw like you pulled up. When she said she's like finishing a video conference thing with one of her teachers.
That she's not turning the assignment in on time for?
No. They didn't
Probably.
have school got canceled that day, so their teacher just said they're going to do individual Skype things with each of the students.
The Skype call is her teacher being like, look, honey, like I know you've missed all your assignments this year, and we got to talk about that now.
So she said she'll be down like in a second. So I just say okay, and I sit down on the bench. Seconds go by, minutes go by, and then
you were far too polite.
Messages me again.
Too polite.
I really am. She
kicked the freaking door down. Where are my shirts?
It's because we're friends. If we weren't friends,
this is how friendships
dollars from the emotional bank account.
This is how friendships end. This is how they end.
Yeah, honestly, it is. Yeah. But so, then she messages me again, and she's saying that, I told my teacher you were here, but like she won't let me like leave and whatever. So I'm waiting. She comes down with all the shirts, and I'm thinking, yes, finally, my time has come. My shirts are here. This is great. And then she hands me the shirts, and she says, yeah, I know you like to look at them. And I'm thinking, I mean, anyone who buys a product will want to look at it before they take it, right? So I'm going through all the shirts just to see how they all look and make sure everything's right or whatever. I'm like, oh, great. This shirt's great. This shirt's great. I get to my shirt, the one that's for me, right? No. The guy in charge of everything. The guy that's in charge of everything. The guy who spent all this money on these shirts. I hold up my shirt and I'm thinking, wow, this shirt is kind of big. Right, so then I look at the tag, and the shirt says extra large. I'm not an extra large person, and so then I look at her and says, "Why is this one extra large?" And she said, wasn't it supposed to be extra large? And I kind of took that.
You're like, first, no, stop. She's like, wasn't it supposed to be extra large? It's like, woman.
First of all,
if I was asking you, do you think?
First of all,
why would I be asking?
Yeah, and then so then I look at the other shirt and I see that shirt's my size, but it's somebody else's who got the extra large.
Oh,
and
no.
so then I'm like, oh, these two are like mixed up. She's like, because she asked which one she messed up. And then she asked me, she says, okay, well, do you just want to take these and I'll just like bring you new ones? And my first thought was to say something really like sarcastic, and not sarcastic, but really like smart. But I was like, okay, let me not be like that mean. So I just said, I said no, like we can't do anything with I can't do anything with these shirts. Like we don't wear these sizes. Just take the shirts. I don't want them.
Oh my God.
Now I'm thinking I should have kept them.
Throw them back at her.
Dude,
I did,
no.
but
Did they have names? Hold up. Did the shirts have names on them?
yeah, they had like our Twitter names, but yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that's dude. No, like get your money back. Don't talk to her anymore. Be done. Like,
That's right.
she is bankrupt. The emotional
friendship.
Yes.
She basically robbed you of the friendship.
Yeah,
and all that time.
We're not even at the end of the
That's
story.
the thing. That's what people don't understand is the time that you lose. Like you lost the time. You could have gotten the shirts from somebody else.
Yes, it's.
I have a story
it's
next.
Really, it's the time. But so
all right, what's next? Let's finish this up. What happened next?
So then we're talking about the shirts, and she says, yeah, I can just bring you new ones tonight. And I said, okay, well, I said I'll be at home, and so that's fine. She said, yeah, I'm gonna do that once I'm done with my stuff, and I'll message you when I'm on my way. And this is probably my own fault.
He can bring new shirts that night.
I don't
no.
Right?
This is probably my own fault.
Something doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah, this is probably my own fault.
Where was this service?
Luke?
Okay. Sorry.
So I said, and stupidly, I'm just really nice again, but I said, okay, because she was saying all this stuff that she had to like do. I said, okay, but like, don't like kill yourself. Like, it's not like, I can get them tomorrow. Like, that's okay. You can't get them like tonight. And she said, no, yeah, I'll message you when I'm on my way. Never got a message. Next day, which is today. Haven't heard from her. Haven't heard anything whatsoever. So I'm just gonna like tomorrow and just like be like, this is stupid, and just
get your money back. Get your money back. Go to a professional print shop. You'll have them done in 3 hours.
If she doesn't have a Yelp account, make one for her.
Google.
But the weird part about it is that I've ordered from her like 3 times before this, and it was easy, no problem. It was never an issue. So I'm like, okay, now why is there an issue now? And I felt weirder now because I spent a lot more money this time. I'm like, okay, like
that should have been a priority.
Yeah,
exactly. So my big thing, like I said earlier, is about the time. So I had this one guy that came up to me and was like, hey, Luke, I'm not gonna say.
And if just in case she happens to listen to this podcast for whatever type of reason, I only stated facts, so you can't be mad.
She's gonna be mad regardless. That's not how it works.
I'm just saying.
She can't be mad about her own bad service.
I stated facts, and that's it. And I have receipts. Yeah. I have the messages. So
if whoever it is that this is about listens to this episode, and you have something you want to say to Shayne, I have this thing called a podcast that would be happy to have both of you on to discuss this, and I'll moderate. So just fun fact.
That would be a great episode.
So
this shoots nicely into our subject, though. Yeah,
it does sort of. So, good point. Okay, so I was talking to this one guy, and he was like, "Yo, what do they say in South Park?
Yo,
you're not my buddy, guy."
What?
What do they say in South Park? What do they say? Is it
I'm not
buddy
your guy, buddy?
You have no idea.
No, so what I was saying though, he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, Luke, you do video editing and stuff. Can you edit the video that you've already worked on with us and make some changes to it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it works. I'll edit the video and then let the person come back and we'll make like another round of changes." And so the only catch is that I know this guy, and he's kind of like Shayne's friend, where he's very flaky and just forgets and just doesn't have a calendar or anything, right? So I kind of was on edge about it. So I was like, all right, look, buddy guy, here's the thing. I will do this for you, but I want you to look at something here. So I felt like a dad, which also translates into our next topic, but I felt like a dad because I was like, all right, man, see, this is my phone. Inside my phone, I have a calendar. See this calendar? I want you to look at this. Saturday morning, whoop, help person out with video editing. See how that's covering up the whole morning? That means when somebody on Wednesday goes, hey, Luke, we're going to do this really awesome, fun thing that you've wanted to do for 10 years on Saturday morning. Do you want to do it? I'll be like, sorry, friend. My other guy already got to me and I'm helping him edit his video. I was like, do you understand what I'm saying here? So when I show up on Saturday to do this, don't be flaking on me, okay? Because I'm setting time aside for you. So the day came and he just fell asleep and he forgot and he never showed up.
What?
Wow.
Now,
Why are so many people like that?
now,
I even put this podcast in my calendar, by the way.
good. See? So I was like, oh man, this guy. All right, what are we going to do here? I didn't know. I wasn't sure what to say. And I was like, I'm just going to let him see if he texts me or something. And I knew he probably wouldn't show up. That's why I kind of had other things planned. Thankfully, nobody asked me to do anything that Saturday morning. So I just did my own thing. But he never showed up. And the part that gets me, though, he never texted me. There was never like I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yep.
I fell asleep. He just forgot it, you know? And so I had to go to him later. I was like, yo, buddy guy, you're in trouble. And then he was like, dude, I'm sorry, I just fell asleep. And it's like, I told you when we set this up.
Oh my gosh.
I had a thing.
He is now pulled away from the mic.
When I set this up.
I seriously though, like I said it. Like I feel like a dad where I'm like, I told you
Yes.
to do one
Honestly.
thing and you didn't do one thing. And that was the thing.
And you know what the issue is? The issue is not even them not doing the thing. It's that they didn't communicate about not doing the thing.
Yeah, if they said,
That's,
hey,
that's
I
for
can't
me.
make it.
If you just said something, it's like, oh, okay, I understand. But you can't just be leaving people in the dark. It gives me anxiety.
Is that just a fear of someone looking at you badly? So instead of you saying, hey, I can't do this, you just go, well, if I ignore the issue, then no, I don't know anything, so I don't feel
Yeah,
bad.
but it's so like cowardly to me. It's like
I
at least
agree.
own up and say like, yo, I didn't make it. But to just like shrug it off, you know, like if I'm late, I'll at least say like acknowledge it. Like, I'm sorry I was late. I didn't, and you know, I fell asleep. Even if it was something stupid, I'm sorry I missed it. I would just, I don't know. So, voting. Did everybody vote?
Yes.
No.
Put you on-
Ooh, voting, yes.
Put you on blast on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in democracy.
So,
Voting. So many people
I have a
voted.
thought. So this year there was a big push to get a bunch of people to vote. It was
Right.
made very cool to post your picture on Instagram of I voted, and Google had it, Facebook had it. Every tech company basically had like a go vote thing. It's in your Apple calendar by default. Like there's a big push to get people to vote. Now, I do believe that your civic duty is to vote. And I think that if you know what you're doing, you definitely should vote because you're part of the country. You should do your part. However, I kind of wonder about that theory because if I was going to hire somebody to be a software developer at a company and then said, hey, everyone in the company who doesn't know anything about programming needs to vote on who's going to be the software developer. It's like people aren't going to know. So like this whole voting thing where everyone should vote, I do wonder about that because a lot of people don't know anything about politics at all. And they're deciding these policies that they don't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have a better solution. But I also
don't vote if
wonder
you don't know what
about
you're talking about.
what?
I mean, that's the solution. If you don't know what you're talking about, then don't vote.
Some people would
If
say
you're
no.
uninformed, I think, well,
People freak out if you say you're not going to vote.
I have
like,
I have a
yeah.
controversial opinion on it, on voting in general, but I don't know if we want to like.
What
get into
is it?
that.
I'm kind of curious. Is it going to be like a law or something where it has to be mandatory to vote? Like you have to like
I think that's what
No,
Australia has that.
No,
a
I
test
just-
or a law.
Well, it's like a fine, I think, if you don't vote.
Really?
Yeah, it's law over there.
So
Interesting.
government is forcing you to
Yeah.
vote for them?
That's what my opinion. I'll just say it. My opinion on voting, like because I think voting in itself, well, the whole not voting in itself, but the process of like voting in like election time, I think it's very toxic, and it's just a very terrible. It's a very terrible time, and I'm so glad it's over. But I just don't really like the people who like make people feel bad for not voting or not wanting to vote or not being registered to vote, because and they always say, you know, like it's your civic duty, or you like have the right, or like, you know, somebody didn't die for like you to not have this right, or whatever, all like this stuff. And so my argument is, okay, so I have the right to bear arms, correct? You don't see me. I don't own a gun. You don't see me walking around with a gun, right? I could exercise that right to get the gun, but I'm choosing to exercise my right to not get the gun. And then I'm like,
expensive. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Then I'm like, okay, I have the freedom of speech, correct?
Right.
You don't see me going around and just saying whatever the F I want to say to like, you know, at the top of my lungs, because I'm choosing to not use that freedom of speech. So I have the right to vote. I also have the right to not vote if I don't want to vote.
Right.
Leave me alone.
That's a good, like, partially good point. Like, but the only thing I would say is you actually made a good point that I didn't think about, where it's like people died for your right to vote, so you owe it to the country to become
anything
to become informed. Like, it's not really about the voting; it's about being informed, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like impossible to be informed too. That's the only catch-22 on this is, like, I could spend weeks and weeks researching a ton of stuff, and I still am like, this stuff is just so complicated. How am I supposed to know what policy is a good policy when there's so much muck
Are you kidding
in between
me?
them all?
I was so stressed out in that voting poll when I had to vote. When I had to go between like 30 different candidates for all like these school board and city council things. I said, I have to research all of these people to make an informed decision. Who has the time to do that?
Well, that's why I wish it was just online. Then I could like research as I'm doing it.
When do
there's not like this stupid?
When does everybody start campaigning? Is it like a year before the elections usually, or it depends on what level of government, right?
Yes. I mean, yes. I mean, there is like a time to like do all that stuff. But my thing is, at least like with this smaller city related stuff, like that, I think, okay, if I'm voting for like school board stuff, I'm looking at the school systems like in my district, right? I don't know what goes on in this. I don't work. I'm a teacher, so I don't work in that district. So I don't necessarily care too much. I'm not going to put that much emphasis on getting knowledge on these 4 candidates going over for something that doesn't affect me. So that I was like, okay, I wish you could just
completely understand
vote in your
like,
own district. Like, why am I
area.
voting for other things that have nothing to do with, that don't affect me? So,
Jordan, what were you saying about people starting their campaigns really early?
Well, I was saying, depending on, because he was complaining about the time it takes to learn each individual candidate, learn what they're campaigning for, and then that includes like your senatorial races, your House, and then your local elections. What usually I've seen a year, almost 2 years when they start campaigning again. So just depending on the each term is. So I mean, you have time. It just no one wants to take 5 minutes to go, all right, let me look up. I live in Illinois.
I do agree.
5 minutes though.
Yeah, like 5 minutes of research on each guy a day.
No,
like,
well,
okay,
it would take a lot of work, I think.
I do think everyone should vote.
Yeah.
I
like
really
the
don't.
idea. I mean, we kind of agreed as a country that it should be like the elected officials should be the average preference.
Yeah, but if somebody doesn't know anything, what do they do then? They just go and just pick like, oh, well, I kind of like the way this name looks.
Republican, and then that's what they'll look.
If we have like a sample of people that don't know what to pick, then it would probably be equally distributed between the options, and then it would just sort of cancel itself out, you know.
Unless someone has a better looking name.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think that everyone should vote, but I feel that if someone does not want to vote, I feel like they should be able to not vote.
I mean, that's kind of the point of the United States is freedom, one way or
Yeah,
another.
exactly. I feel like you should just
liberties
not, if
and
you don't
duties,
want to
but if I
vote.
don't want to do that, that's my choice.
Yeah,
I guess
that's my choice. Exactly.
I just don't like how.
Don't make me feel like I'm the scum of the earth.
No, that is ridiculous.
I think that most people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm
one of
don't
them.
claim to know what I'm talking about. I just say what I think. I'm like, well, as far as I understand, it's this. But I'm not.
Exactly.
I know that there's a lot that I don't know. And I think a lot of people kind of. I think way too many people think they understand politics. Way too many people. And it's way too popular right now. I don't like that at all. And that's why I don't like this whole
People have
pop
very, very
voting.
strong opinions.
Yeah, they don't know anything. You know, it's just like, it'd be like everyone having an opinion on the way a CEO runs a company, which they do. But it's like, you guys don't have any idea what's involved with what they're doing. You don't know anything about the stock and the way the business is run. And like, you have all these opinions about the way it should be done, but they're like these cartoon opinions. And it's like, I don't know. I don't like this stuff. I didn't want to talk about this too much, but I wanted to see if anyone had any thoughts. But I guess that's it. So
That's
karma.
my thought.
I, for some reason, just had a thought about karma. Everybody here, I think, and I hope, knows that karma is, or knows what karma is. It's basically, according to the dictionary, a sum of a person's actions in this or previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate for future experiences. It's originally from like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, which I don't know what that is, but I'm sure if someone had the name Jain, that would be a pretty cool religion to have. A lot of like Indian religions. And I just wanted to talk about it. I think that it's kind of an interesting concept, even if you don't necessarily believe in it in the religion sense. But for starts, have you guys ever had any experiences with karma, good or bad?
I don't know if I believe in it, so I don't know if I'll contribute much value to this discussion.
Damn.
Well, let's so then let's
Well, have you had any experiences that appear to be karma?
yeah,
Karma
like I
related.
mean, right now, I'm not saying like if you tell me a story that's about karma, you're admitting that you believe in it, and you have to believe in it forever.
like-
It's like I'm saying that I could trip somebody and be like, ha, and then I trip and fall off a mountain,
Yes.
and then as I'm falling, I'm like,
Well-
ha, karma. You know,
Yeah.
like even if I don't believe in karma,
have a-
Karma.
I mean, I think,
I have a
there are
lot of
things-
moments like that for me. That's where my take is.
like your friend with the
I'm,
t-shirts.
no, like sometimes I'm just like I'll do something and then like something will like happen within a short amount of time. Like, oh, that's because I did that, and like I'll.
What did you do to deserve that?
I
my question.
I did nothing to deserve that. I
You're
don't.
like,
think there are
nobody
definitely-
deserves this.
There are definitely instances of things occurring that could be perceived as karma, but
But I don't. Yeah.
I think it's more like, I mean, I see, I
try
definitely
not to
see
do
when
wrong
I
by
treat people right, they treat me right, you know? If I
Right. But
help
see,
someone
that-
out-
I haven't experienced that.
All right, hold up. So what you're saying, Nick, is that it could be perceived as karma because, like, well, I'm nice to other people, and that makes everyone nice to me. Karma. So I basically got what I gave out into the world. But see, like that, I don't consider that to be like a religion karma, but it's a karma in concept in a way.
Oh, I don't.
yeah, I guess.
and-
I guess
and so,
when I
like-
said I don't believe in it, I don't believe it's like a point system where it's like
Right.
if you give one good, you get one good.
Yeah, I don't
or
think
you
it like
give one
relates
bad,
to
you get
each
one
other.
bad.
I think it's just. I think it was gonna happen either. I don't know. I feel like it would happen either way. I don't think it relates.
Well, let's talk about what I was thinking, just because it sounds like you guys are sort of thinking about this more literally, because I'm not thinking about it yet in that like point for point. But I'll give you an example. I'm driving my car, and some dick just goes like whizzes past me, and it's like, whoa, cut me off, and then the cop pulls him over. Everyone in the car all at once like, ha, karma, got him. Like, that's what you get for being that way. And I was wondering if you guys had experiences like that. Like, I don't know, Nick, I know you had your business stuff that you did. Shayne, I know you have your podcast. And Jordan, I know that you have guns.
Sales.
Okay, sales. I didn't know. like what could be something that could happen in sales? I'm trying to think of like a funny
Oh,
story.
dude, sales is nothing but relationship and quote karma.
But really, like, do you have any specific stories of karma that has happened to you that you can recall? I know it's like I'm asking you guys to recall something.
Oh, well,
Like
it's all been minor things.
like,
It's always been you treated someone a certain way, and then that came back on you from somebody else. Or
then you
it's
saw the Yelp
been-
review.
Yeah, you saw the exactly. You're like, oh no. For me, I don't believe in karma. I really don't. I believe in
So
what
none
you're putting
of
out.
us believe in karma.
No, but what you
Damn
put
it.
Oh,
out-
because it's not a thing. I don't know.
Well, not necessarily. I think the principle's good. I just don't think karma itself exists. What you put into the world, whether it's time, energy, effort, will affect other people and then lead a series of events. And at some point, it's coming back to you. Now, that's karma. Someone's probably screaming, "That's karma, you idiot!"
Yeah.
But it's physics. It's
I don't know.
that's what it is. It's
Well, I'm
opposite
thinking
equal
that
reactions.
I think a lot of people subconsciously do believe in karma. So they're like, well, that guy is a dick and he's making a lot of money right now. He's got a beautiful wife, but like, oh, just wait. It's going to get him eventually because he's mean and like he uses people or whatever
He's
it is.
committing a crime.
I don't believe.
Yeah,
see,
but
I don't
but
believe
don't,
in karma.
I don't think that they always get caught. I think they get they're like good things
lot of
happen
people
to
do.
bad people sometimes.
See,
Yeah.
oh, well.
Do
I think
people
so, too.
disagree?
I agree with that.
I mean, I've said many times, I've said many times, like when something like bad will happen, and instead of like trying to talk bad about someone, I'll just be like, I don't think like, oh, I've said, you know, someone worse will come along or whatever that'll like get back at them, but I usually just think, well, it's okay because one day we're all going to be judged and you know exactly what you did wrong. And that's all I think. That's what I think. I don't necessarily think something bad's going to happen to them. I just said, you're just going to have to answer for it one day. And that's okay. That's all I need to know to make me feel good.
See, I think that if you believe in a god, it's karma sort of exists in a way. Would you say?
Your deeds are weighed and judged.
I mean,
yeah.
I think
Possibly.
you have to answer for the things that you do. Yes. So if that's considered
Yeah.
karma, then sure.
Because it seems like there's different ways of thinking about it. One is more this life's karma. So when I'm a child, I'm a real brat to my parents. This is actually the best example of karma I have. You're a brat to your parents and you're not very reasonable. You don't give them much credit and you are annoyed at them all the time. And then you have a kid and you're like, oh man,
Oh, no.
everything my parents did makes a lot more sense. Like that's what I felt like when I was talking to that guy about doing his video, where I was like, I understand what it's like to be a parent, to tell somebody, I need you to do this thing and definitely don't mess this up. This is the one thing I need you to do. And then like having the conversation later of like, I told you this one thing and you didn't do the one thing that I asked.
Is that just relating experience though from what you've seen to yourself though? I mean, I think everybody has those experiences at some point in life. I know I have.
Yeah,
Like
so
I can't tell you
what
how
do you
many
mean
times
exactly?
my dad has been like, do this, because you'll make your life easier. And I'm like, whatever. And of course, I'm like, oh, I should-
Oh, dang, I wish I
Well,
did
like
that.
Jordan Peterson, dude, like it's like clean your room, make your bed. And I'm like, stand up straight. I'm like, damn it, my mom told me to do that
Right?
my whole life.
Yeah.
And now
That's
all of a
save
sudden
money,
I'm like,
work hard, be smart, don't be lazy, all these things that are true.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's karma. I didn't listen to my parents.
Yeah,
and
right,
now,
yeah.
now I'm 20,
screwed.
almost 27, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
think
oh
that's-
yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think that's karma.
That's just
That's
you not
just
paying
like-
attention to people smarter than you at the
No,
time.
that's just the effect
Stupidity.
of you not doing something. Just like the effect of you doing it would have had a different outcome. I don't think that's karma. I think it's decision.
Well, we probably need to circle
has an
back to
outcome.
what are you by karma? Do you mean the Buddhist definition of karma, or are we talking about our own personal definitions of karma? Because I think we all established we don't believe in the Buddha definition of karma. Buddhists. excuse me.
Yeah, not. Yeah, I don't really believe in it.
No, because I don't think if you're a tool, if you beat your wife, that you're going to get in a car accident and somehow you're going to die because some.
Yeah, that's what I do not believe in. Yeah.
I was watching a TV episode and this guy was beating his wife. He fired a gun, hit a tree. He tried to blow up this tree for some reason, and then the bullet came back and struck him. Like it was some like weird. She shot at him.
What?
Bullet in tree. He blew up tree. Bullet killed him. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like,
Yeah.
you know, no. It's not like I'm going to pin you against the tree and then no.
I mean, there are some like
coincidences.
I guess coincidental things that you, like I said, could be perceived as karma. Like you give good service, you get a 5-star review.
Right.
Not really karma. It's just kind of.
Well, an example would be
averages,
like,
maybe
you do really bad service, like when you're making T-shirts for somebody, and then eventually you go to get another job doing something else, and we're all in the same boat as a giant podcast by then. And then they're like, wait a second, you were the T-shirt lady from that episode. No, we're not going to hire you. Karma.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not even karma. That's a ripple effect. That's
that's what I'm saying.
I feel like that is
an
karma,
effect
though.
of what
That's not- I think
of a
that is
decision
karma.
you made.
Is that not? You don't consider that
maybe
karma?
karma is just describing that
Cause
incident.
and effect.
It's cause and effect, yeah. Which is karma. That's what karma is. Let's just be honest.
I mean, I
karma
guess.
is cause and effect. It's just not they're using it in a spiritual sense where the universe will judge you versus a cause and then an effect.
It's not, you brought it upon yourself.
I guess
like,
it could be described in a spiritual sense, though.
Right.
Like any of the things we're talking about could be perceived as like, something happening on some spiritual level.
If I don't save my money and then I get to a certain age and I just partied all the time and spent all my money and now I have no money, it's like karma.
No,
God,
bad financial
see?
planning.
Yeah, but that, I think it's still considered karma, though. Yeah,
I mean, you're probably right.
I mean, stupidity. I'm not saying that stupidity is karma. I'm saying that karma also often involves stupidity. So it's like, well, you were dumb before, and now it's biting you.
Involves stupidity.
I love that I always do that voice for karma.
No, I don't think that's a good way to say it. I think karma involves bad decisions.
But there's also good decisions that give you
involve good.
They give you good karma, but the thing, it's a decision. Like, I have the decision, like, you know what I mean? Like, say, like, I'm working with this. Yeah, right? Say, like, for instance, I'm working with this nonprofit. No. Totally different, unrelated. I'm working with this nonprofit organization where, like, I'm in charge of, like, doing our plays and all that. Type of everything, and so my good decision is, you know what, I'm gonna stick with these people. I don't get paid for this, but I'm gonna stick with these people. It's a good thing. I get a lot of artistic freedom and creativity, and I feel fulfilled by doing this stuff like creatively. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and then later on in life, I get like my own show, like on Broadway or something. Is that karma because I was so good to these people that I helped them out with their stuff by gifting them with my abilities? Or is it just I made a good decision and I worked to get to that spot? Is that karma, or is it just I made good decisions?
Well, I think it's
to
both.
Get a good thing to happen.
According to karma, it's both, because one, it's you made good decisions and you got the good reward, and if you look at it from a worldly perspective, it's like it makes sense. But that's also considered karma, I think, because karma. It's not like karma is like in the TV show where the bullet bounces off the tree and kills the guy. Karma could just be like, oh, it all makes sense, but in the end, everyone got what they deserved, good or bad.
Okay, that I believe in. I believe in you get what you deserve.
I think it's kind of a enjoying the fruits of your labor kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
If I believe in it at all. And that
do you
would
guys...
So a cause and effect / reaping what you sow, but maybe not a universal judgment system.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I don't think it's a judgment. Yeah, I don't think it's a judgment thing.
I was reading about some things with karma, and there was kind of a debate that if karma exists, then free will cannot exist. So, as an example, if somebody kills somebody else... They can claim that their bad actions were a product of karma. Like I basically have no free will because I can't make a choice. I'm just an agent of karma. So it's like, whatever I did to this other person, they must have deserved because of karma, based on their past lives or whatever. And so
well,
therefore, what?
I guess that person wouldn't have had to do that, because if I guess the realities of karma were true, then something else would have gotten that person anyway. Maybe something out of human control. It's like, for someone to have bad karma, there doesn't have to be human intervention to cause that bad karma.
Mm-hmm.
Be a
Right.
car accident, cancer, you name it.
Well, so then that's the other thing to say. Okay, so your friend gets into a car wreck and dies, and it's like, well, they must have done something wrong, so they deserve to die. You know, so I can see it very quickly warping your viewpoint a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also just
where
had a
Or
discussion
there's
with
no other
Shayne
human
here.
there, and it's sorry.
No, I was just saying Shayne was the victim of someone not putting the time, energy, and effort after they got paid to do so.
And you
So-
deserved it, apparently, Shayne. What'd you do?
Right.
Deserve this.
But that implies
I
that
can't
somebody
even feel
else
sorry
can
for
give
you
bad
now.
karma to somebody else and then not deserve it, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could, yeah. I'm saying it's not a requirement. Like, there could be, a tornado that gets your house and kills your family.
Right.
That's not like human intervention. That's just like
It's
nature.
nature.
That was
I just thought of it. I just thought of something. It's
wrong
like
time, wrong
it's someone's
place.
like, yo, my entire family was just killed by a tornado, and then someone in the background's like, ha, karma.
Oh, yeah. That's just as bad as the other joke.
Very horrible.
Oh.
That's like,
So I guess what gets me is, I guess karma doesn't have to have human intervention for one. There can still be victims, and there can still be victimizers, but then it can switch around where that victimizer becomes the victim due to some circumstance, and everything balances back out. If I understand, that's how karma works. It's a balance system, correct? Like you tilt to one
Yeah.
side and then it has to go back to the other somehow.
It's like the Force.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now
Star
that explains
Wars.
it. So there's just too many people in the world. That's the problem.
Right. It's just like waves. Whoa!
The force is struggling to keep up with the amount of good stuff that's
Right.
going on right now.
Do you guys
if
believe-
bad karma can be, I guess, caused by a non-human energy, I guess, then can
Right.
good karma also?
Yeah, it's
be caused?
yin and yang,
Like,
man.
can you-
It
can
goes
you
back
do
and forth.
something good that's not towards humanity?
Like the environment being cleaner somehow,
Yeah, I guess that would be a good example of it.
or maybe the hurricane or the tornado passes by your house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
it burns your neighbors.
Yeah, really. You like look over and your house is fine and your neighbor's house is destroyed, and you're like, karma.
Yeah, right. No, man, I think it's just organized chaos is what you're seeing a lot of the times, and coincidence. I don't really believe in karma, but I do believe in reaping what you sow, and I do believe in consequences to actions, good or bad. I just don't believe in the driving force is karma. It's
Well,
just
do you
same.
believe in free will or predestination?
I go on the free will side, but
yeah.
most of the time I go on the free will side. Every now and again, I'll hear a good argument for predestination. Like, dang it, now I got to fight this. But most of the time, it's free will.
I'm
What about
really
you,
stuck in the middle with that one. That's tough because
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as religious views go, if I'm a Christian, it's hard for me to make a decision on that. If I was
Absolutely.
an atheist, it would be easy for me to just decide, free will, because there's no God, But
Oh, I'm
Well,
the
even
opposite.
predestination for
I
atheism
I'm
too,
the
though.
opposite. I think if there's no God, you can't have free will.
Yeah, because I guess you're talking about biology, then, aren't you?
No, I think it's impossible to have free will if there's no God, because everything's just an explosion of things happening. Everything's cause and effect, and like it kind of depends on how you define free will.
I guess that
But if
makes
a God-
sense.
I
'cause
don't
if
think we
there's-
have. Wait,
If
can
forces of nature are affecting you psychologically to where you make a decision, then I guess that could be
Right.
a way that you could be controlled by the universe.
Well,
What were
we
you
really got to
saying,
get
Shayne?
meta here. What? First of all,
Actually,
free
hold,
will.
real quick, hold that thought once, Jordan. Shane, you were going to say something about.
Yeah.
what we
Sorry,
were talking
Shane.
about?
So no, you're okay.
didn't hear you.
So I guess from like my religious standpoint, I guess, but just my personal standpoint too. I don't believe like we have like in term of. I'm a huge cause and effect of person. I believe that we have the free will to make choices, but and that's it. Like we have like the choice. So we might think that we're controlling like a situation, but we're really not. We're making the choice to go through this situation, but then there's a lot of factors that go into everything because other people are involved, or there's so much that goes into it. It's like we don't really have the free will because there's so many other factors that go into it. We just have the choice to do this thing or go through this situation, and so and I do think that things are. I don't want to say things are predetermined necessarily, but I do think that there's like a path that I think there's multiple paths,
like a paved road, and then you can pick which one you want to go on. That affects the outcome of things.
I've heard that.
Yes,
one.
Are we playing an RPG? Are we playing a video game?
I more so
Jordan,
think
I do want to hear what you were going to say, Jordan.
And their choices lead us down whatever way, but I feel like it all ends in the same spot. But.
Jordan, what were you going to say before I jumped back over to Shayne? What were you gonna say?
No, I kind of agree with Shayne. I was getting into his point. I believe in free will, but it's mostly reacting to situations. Just to piggyback off what he's saying, it's all right because I don't have control over my body. Right? If I have to eat or I die. I mean that's a choice, but let's be honest, my body's going to win out. And I'm going to go eat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless I have a mental disorder, so there's no free will there. At least for me, I'm not strong enough.
Well, there's no free will given the context of wanting to stay alive.
Right. I guess
the accepted premise is that
right?
like there's no free will if I want to stay alive. But
that's the choice. You can choose to die or you can choose to eat. That's
right.
the choice. But what I was getting to is the meta of free will. Is free will saying I have the ability to control my destiny, or is free will saying I have the ability to control, react and affect the choices in front of me? Mm-hmm. Versus predestination, which is you're just going to go down this dialogue path like an NPC in a video game or a character on TV, and whatever the script is written, that's that, and you just think you have control.
Well, that's why if there's no such thing as a god, then I believe we're all NPCs in a way. In that
just
way,
reacting with a basic.
Yeah, because if you think about like an explosion, like think about
a Red Dead character. I'm not getting kicked around by a horse.
If you think about an explosion, like let's say I blow up a car. It's like one wheel is going to fly one direction, the window is going to fly another, all the shards of glass are all going to fly into different directions, and they're all going to land in different places. And if I told a scientist, I want you to write me an equation that tells me exactly how the car is going to blow up and where all the pieces, every shard of glass is going to land.
You can probably get pretty close.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to do it exactly, and that's because it's too difficult to track. However,
at the moment,
it is not random. It's totally calculated. All the little fragments are mathematically going where they were always going to go based on the explosion. So then if you take that and apply it to people and life and all the stuff that's going on, if it is the start of the Big Bang, and it's all just one big ripple effect, even our thoughts are just chemical reactions to other reactions. So if I'm like, well, I'm going to move my hand like this, you didn't think I was going to do that. It's like, well, yeah, but that was a chemical reaction movement of the brain that stemmed off of the conversation, which stemmed off of this, which stemmed off. And so everything is calculated. So I don't think it's possible to believe in free will if you don't believe in a God.
I feel like
I can agree with that.
I think that could apply even with a God, though. And that's
it could apply with a God.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's my like religious struggle. And why I describe myself as like a struggling Christian, because I'm like, if you want everyone to be saved, why did you create this environment that's sort of causing people to not be saved?
Absolutely.
That's where I kind of. I guess that's
why would you intentionally create something knowing it's going to fail? Like why? You're perfect. You'll understand. All right. So in case anyone doesn't have a background in Christianity, which it's the United States, and a lot of people do, at least know the Adam and Eve story. Eve tempted Adam. Adam ate the fruit. Eve ate the fruit of the tree. That caused sin. That was the ultimate destroyer of worlds that brought all the knowledge in, and then they disobeyed God. Next thing you know,
honestly, it's the worst thing that ever happened in human existence.
If you're God and you created a perfect paradise and then put an option in where you can no longer have a perfect paradise, but you knew that your creation was going to take that option, then why would you do it in the first place? Because
Yeah.
That's
Is
like the
there
ultimate
is there a
struggle.
debate for that? Like,
Absolutely.
Is there what's
I wanna hear that.
Yeah.
Well, it goes down to that's the predestination versus free will choice, right? So predestination will state that God put them in the situation. He knew it was going to happen, and he just flicked the dominoes and let it happen. Free will states that man made that choice, and then we are suffering the consequences from it. That's the basis of the argument that Adam and Eve chose to sin against God, go against him, and then say, hey, we're going to do this thing that will condemn us to death, pain, and suffering, but we want to be like God and know everything that he knows. And then that
But
caused
even
the
if
whole
he-
tumble.
Even if he, I guess, even if it was a free will thing, like he didn't have to determine that occurrence to make it a possibility.
He didn't have to
and
put
know
the tree in the garden. He could
Yeah.
have lived in here. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that if you knew? Because from what the Bible teaches, he's all-knowing, all-powerful. He's omnipresent, past, present, future. He's outside of
Right.
time. He's beyond our understanding of what time is. So if you knew this was going to happen, you could see it play out. Why would you even play the game in the first place? If it means suffering for
Because
something
that's-
you created.
It's hard to have anything like that
Sorry,
determine
I'm going
whether or
quick.
not. No, I think it's difficult because it's hard to determine whether or not a God exists from our point of view because we can't see.
I don't think
Right.
you can
It's-
determine that.
It's like unreasonable of us to expect to understand that perspective. So it'd be like,
It'd be like an ant looking up.
like a
They don't
little
have that
kid trying to
dimension.
grasp, like a child trying to grasp taxes and the economy. It's like the little kid's just not going to understand it,
Mhm.
and so the little kids be like, "Well, let's just print a lot of money and give it to everyone."
Like, yeah, we
It's like
could do
you
that.
don't
That could
understand
work.
inflation. It's more complicated than that. It doesn't just work that way. Yeah, but no, Dad, you're silly. Just give everyone a ton of money. Everyone's good to go.
You know,
and so,
that
like,
would
I
work as
just
long as we
picture-
didn't inflation for anything, right? It would,
Right.
but it
As
doesn't
long
work
as
that way.
everything was just free.
Right? We all just lived for the common good. It would be fine.
Right. And so it's kind of hard to have like those sorts of conversations about God where it's like, well, why would God do it this way?
Right.
And
Or
it's
the
like,
other
well,
way.
yeah, but why would we understand it? Why would we expect to understand it to make sense?
I agree with you. That's the.
I don't like that answer. I'm just saying I also understand it.
Oh, I know. I mean,
I kind of understand it too, but it's still like, how can he expect us to not be frustrated with that?
well, that's what faith is about, right? No matter what religion is, putting your trust in something higher than yourself to take care and sort the problems out. You just follow the basic guidelines, and then if that religion has a intimate relationship with a god, then you have a powerful force there to help guide you and help you with what's going on, and then help grow you to an ultimate understanding. Right? The Buddhists have enlightenment. Christianity have salvation and heaven. I mean, Islam has the same basic principle, but they follow rules so they don't go to hell strictly. I mean, and then you break the different branches of Christianity, different branches of Islam. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's reincarnation. I mean, name it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it just
I
depends
would-
on your culture, I would say.
Yeah, I do find this stuff interesting, and I actually would like to tackle more topics like this on the podcast, more intellectual free will versus predestination, things that get people kind of fired up that are interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I think like stuff like this is very valuable to talk about, you know. So
I agree.
Yeah.
if people are for it, if you're
There's a lot of opinions on it.
yeah, and that's why I like talking about it, because like nobody seems to really have a perfect answer, and so it's like, well, so
Because
let's
there is none.
right,
We're just feeble humans who know nothing.
right.
Yeah.
But if anybody is interested in this sort of thing, remember that our Instagram is a way to reach out to us. WAITSB podcast. You can send us a direct message on there and tell us like, hey, I want you to talk about this, or you could say, hey, I want to be on the podcast to talk
Yeah.
about something. Reach out to me, because I've already had multiple people on that have they literally just said, hey, I'd like to be on. And I was like,
Nice.
come on. So like, I'm not too stingy about not letting people on here. Like,
No, you're not.
send us a message,
we're
follow us
very
on.
And I appreciate the
friendly.
invite, by the way.
We'd love to have
Yeah.
you on the podcast. Come on. It's a great time.
Come on down.
So what
Gentlemen?
about what?
What were you going to say?
No, are you about to wrap it up?
I want to hear what you're going to say, but I was about to wrap it up.
Well, I was getting into another topic because I'm so used to
Before-
listening to Joe Rogan podcasts.
Oh.
I'm like, we're not even a third of
Okay,
the way
wait.
through it.
Tell me what the topic is, and I'll decide if we can get into it.
Well, good versus bad. You had that kind of jotted down, and we haven't even gotten.
Oh yeah, subjective versus objective truth.
Oh my
right,
god,
let's
I
just
want to
see.
get into the subjective versus objective.
Oh, no!
Maybe next
2-hour
time.
episode.
I feel like
That's a passionate
lengthy
topic of
thing.
mine.
But
This is
did
gonna be fun.
anyone
Let me just
see-
hear stances. Let's hear stances.
I'm
Jordan,
gonna go
do
with
you have
okay.
subjective or objective?
So you want to lay out what subjective versus objective?
Yeah,
means?
actually,
you
so
could- you could probably do
for anyone,
that.
so objective is, and obviously don't jump down my throat if I'm wrong, but
This
as
is just
far
a
as I
description,
understand,
people.
objective. Well, I'm also talking to you.
Down his throat.
Oh God. Yeah, that
I'm sorry.
conversation.
I know. Objective truth, as far as I understand it, is there is a universal truth that is true for everyone.
Yep.
So don't lie or don't murder or something like that. And then subjective truth is it kind of depends on your circumstances and who you are, what your culture is, etc. Subjective versus objective. Is that
Me
a
and you
good
got into that pretty
explanation?
hard.
I know. Going back and
can't
forth.
wait.
This
Don't
is
drink
just,
and have these
well, no,
conversations.
all right, so yeah, I know. I wish I had one now, but or a cigar.
That's my
Jordan,
cigar.
which one do you believe in, or what's your
I
opinion
do
on it?
believe there's an objective truth. That being said, I think it's more gray than it is black or white. That's
But
not
if
even
it's
a real
gray
answer.
though.
Wait, are we supposed to pick one?
Yeah, which
I
one?
think it's
Which
case by case.
that's subjective then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Well-
possible to have.
Are we
Wait.
talking about?
Is there
Is
a
it
general
possible to have
rule that you
subjective
shouldn't kill
without-
somebody for no reason because you don't like them? Is that a universal concept across culture?
Oh, that's fair. That's actually a good point.
But it's not though.
Is
because
it
there's plenty of
ever-
cultures that will have human sacrifices for whatever?
No,
reason.
I mean is an objective truth. You're not allowed to kill. It's morally wrong to kill someone just because I don't like them.
Right.
If that was the sole
okay.
reason, is that ever? Because I always think of it as murder. Like, is there ever a time when killing someone else would be correct? And I would say
Well,
yes.
killing,
I think
yes.
there are
Killing and murder are two different things,
Um,
though. Killing is taking a life. Murder is an intent to hurt somebody.
Wait, you're asking though if we believe in a subjective truth versus an objective truth. Are you saying like on a broad level?
You
you're
could go
asking-
either way. You could go broad level. You could.
Because
I
I
think
think
that's
it's-
what I
I think
said.
it-
I said that if God exists, then there's an objective truth with God.
Right, agreed.
But
Like,
the
there's a good and
objective
there's an
truth
evil.
would be extremely complicated, and we can't really comprehend it.
Right.
Yeah, so I
That's
think
why I
it-
lie.
the objective, I guess an objective truth for me would be, I'm not in my bed right now, but a subjective truth would be like almost everything else. So
Well,
What do you mean exactly?
like if I don't know, anything that I'm able to debate, I guess is more subjective.
Well, the problem with debate is, though, you can be double-minded about it. I mean, if anybody's read 1984, you can debate any subject, whether it's real or not, because it's a debate. You don't have to be. It's doublethink. You don't have to be on one side or the other. You can just switch back and forth. And it's like, well, like we're dealing with now in this day and age, gender is no longer what it was. Anybody can be anything, anytime, at any point, at the drop of a hat, based on how they feel. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's
an
true that you can
objective
debate,
truth
though.
Can be
That's
maybe
a good
one of the boundaries of objective and subjective truth could be time. Like at one point in time, something could be an objective truth, but then later can change into a subjective truth. So like
so we're
right
talking
now, we
laws of
take,
physics and gravity and
like right now we take gravity as
subjective.
a law.
Yeah, actually, technically, it's
Well,
subjective.
objective, I would think. Isn't it objective?
No,
Objective?
depending on where you're at, the gravity properties change from there.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
because
the
it's still
existence
technically.
of it. The existence.
Oh, the
of
existence.
Let's
yes.
say-
yes.
I mean, see, that's
Yeah.
the thing is anything scientific is always subjective, because it's all like
Pretty
a
much.
law, but it's a law that's based on theories that could be flawed. So it's like nothing matters. We don't know anything. No, but I mean, like,
About to get into some Rick and Morty episode stuff here.
what is objective? What is something that you can confidently say is objective? If you can't define if you can define one objective truth, does that?
Make objective truth real?
I'm trying to think if you can have one without the other, or just one. Is it
yeah.
possible to have only subjective or only objective? It's not possible to have only objective, I don't think.
I
Well,
think
'cause I mean,
that
what-
is
Well,
a
it's subjective,
man,
right?
maybe you could. Damn it. I don't know.
Were you
So
saying,
good.
Nick?
That's a subjective quote right there.
Isn't it?
That's true. You can only have objective truth. Well, that's subjective.
So let's get, forgetting the laws of physics, let's get into belief, right? So I believe it's wrong to kill somebody just because you don't like them or you want something from them, no matter what the situation is, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care. That seems wrong. I mean, that goes against my very core. My reaction is vile and sick, but there are plenty of people that would go, I want that, and then bang. You know what I mean? It happens every day on the streets.
Yeah.
But I think they
is that
realize it's
upbringing?
wrong.
Oh, they know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because they were raised in a culture that taught that that's technically. Well, no.
No.
Oh, this is complicated.
Maybe they were in a situation where they were X, Y, and Z led them
At
to
first,
this
I was
point
like,
where
oh,
don't
they
care.
can kill someone and be like, well, this person is a criminal because they work for Wall Street and they took all this money from people, so they deserve what came to them. So that's not necessarily the objective truth, though, because it's like, well, I'm giving them justice. It's not murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're technically still abiding to the objective truth that you just stated.
Right.
It's just a little jaded.
Uh-huh. It's a different shade of gray of it.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not killing him for no reason. I'm killing him because he deserves to be killed.
But he doesn't like him, so he killed him. And he used that as a justification to kill him, even though he knew it was wrong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. He needed a justification to pull the trigger.
If somebody murdered a whole bunch of people and then you killed them, a lot of people would say that's justified, and that's not
justified.
And I don't like them because they murdered a bunch of people, so I'm going to go murder them.
You violated a principle, and then everybody decided to, you know what? Yeah, that's fair. That's a perfectly valid argument. Like, I don't like him, so kill him. Maybe, well, that's why people would say we should lock people up and not put them to death. It's, yeah, but they took a bunch of life,
Right?
like human life, you know. But
And
that
it costs money.
Right. Yeah, it's money. It
I
makes
wonder
money.
if the level of certainty defines the subjectiveness or objectiveness or something. Like maybe if
Ooh.
you're 70% certain that something is true, it's like 70% objective versus 30% subjective. It's making me think.
Well, this goes
like,
back to the whole
I mean,
chaos
we
thing
make,
we're talking about,
so
right? It's
it's like-
controlled chaos sometimes.
Yeah, but it's like when we make decisions based only on, at some level, what we think we know, right? We become so educated in something and then have to make a decision on it, like who to vote for. We have to figure out, like, okay, how much research into this stuff is too much research.
Right.
So we might research until we only know, 70% of all the stuff we're voting on, and then we go vote. It's
Right.
like,
As opposed to waiting till I'm 100% sure and then never making a decision.
yeah, because there's that decreased marginal return where, like, after a certain level, you put in so much time and get so little out of it.
Right.
It's just not
Or
worth
it'd been
it.
better to do like an hour and a half worth of research and then have a general idea to make it worth your while.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we need to end this episode because it's getting to about time. Listeners, if you like this topic and you want us to keep going with it, you know how to reach us, WAITSB Podcast on Instagram. We would love to hear if you guys want more of this because we are here to entertain you. We're here to have fun. And so if this is a topic that we can have fun with and entertain people, we want to know. So contact us on there. We'd love to hear from you. Guys, thank you for being on the podcast so far. Plugs. Shayne, let's start with you.
Yeah, you can check out my podcast, the Pop Talk Podcast, on SoundCloud and iTunes. A lot of cool...
If anyone wants to make shirts for them, go to Instagram and message Shayne.
I'm going to send you a link to
a lot of cool things coming up with Pop Talk, so make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter and those things. That's pop_talk_. And yeah, if you want to follow me, my Instagram and Twitter is Mr. McCatty, MRMCCATTY. And yeah, I have a new vlog that Luke edited. Finally came out. It's on my YouTube channel. Been getting a really good response to that. Everyone wants me to vlog and they're anticipating more videos. So that's good. That makes me feel good about that. So
Woohoo, congratulations.
yes, thank you. And yeah, and then I mentioned the thing, my musical Hutchins Farm will be performing at a conference next year. I need to start posting about that. I'm gonna start doing that tomorrow. I need to start promoting that. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a really cool big performance of that there. So that'll be awesome. And as I get more information about that stuff, I will keep you guys updated. Yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Nick, do you have anything that you want to plug?
I'm in a band called Days Gone By, a metal band, and we're releasing our EP soon. Soon could be 5 months,
Whoa!
but it's probably going to be like
The
before the end of the
treacherous
year,
word soon.
so probably in December.
That is a great name for a band.
Oh, thanks. I was actually surprised that it wasn't taken when I found it.
That
Like,
sounds like
no one has that name, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I read it out of a
Dibs.
thesaurus. It was literally directly read out of a thesaurus. And I just,
Really?
yeah, like that exact phrase, and I just took it out of there, and it was in. I remember texting it to my band. I had a list of like 10 band name ideas, and the other ones were actually created. And I was kind of like, of course they would pick the one that took the least amount of work.
karma.
about
Karma,
right.
karma.
That's right.
Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at JordyLocks. I don't have anything really going on, but yeah, if you want to follow me, I post pictures of cigars, booze, hanging out with friends, general random nuttiness.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
Awesome. Did you say Jordy Locks?
Jordy, JordyLkes.
Jordy
it.
Locks. All right, guys, you can follow me on Instagram at Luke Roxwold, LukeRockswold. I'm actually very active on Instagram as of lately, posting a lot of pictures, stories, and a lot of people really like my stories. I think they're really funny, so follow me on there and participate in my polls and questions, stuff like that. You can also follow the podcast Instagram. Once again, WAITSB Podcast. Okay, that's the acronym for We're All in the Same Boat Podcast. We would love to hear from you guys. I haven't done a vlog in a while.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
really
Yeah,
like to
I was
try
gonna ask
and-
about because I went to your page because I was looking how you did your thumbnails for something, and I was like, wait, Luke hasn't posted a vlog.
I haven't gotten the
know.
emails from YouTube.
I
So
know.
There's
I
periods of
know.
time where I'm getting an email every day from YouTube saying Luke Roxwold has uploaded a new video. Now I'm not getting them, and I'm like,
Yeah, I just haven't. I've been busy. I've been working on like a lot of different things, and like I just haven't felt like it. I just haven't felt like filming anything. That's the whole thing. I'll edit something, but I don't want to film. Like, there's nothing. I don't want to just film me doing nothing. Like, oh, it's getting coffee, guys. And like, I'm just, you know, like I'd rather.
Drinking coffee, guys.
Let's go sit in this chair and stuff, you know. I'd rather do something like go on and just
That's
stop.
how
Okay?
all the best vlogs work. Hey guys.
Move my hands around like.
you sound like someone who's
Shenanigans,
falling.
sir.
It sounds like a South Park character.
It sounds like you're falling,
Yeah,
like out of a chair.
Like a really poor Christopher Walken impersonation.
right. That's right. I'm filming a vlog today. So I just haven't really felt like filming anything. I want to film something with a purpose. Like I did that with my movie premiere. Like it was like, this is going to be one vlog. I'm starting at the beginning and then I'm filming all the way to the end and it's going to be one video because it's just more fun. I do know that
That makes
Thanksgiving
sense.
is coming up, so I might be filming another Friendsgiving episode. And those
I'm
tend
doing
to
a
get a lot of
Friendsgiving.
hype.
Friendsgiving too.
What?
It's not. Yeah, but it's.
You guys should like co-vlog. Is that
In
is that a
different
thing?
cities.
co-vlog. I have
No.
idea.
Okay. I gotta wrap this up, you guys. So I'm trying to make another video soon. A lot of stuff's happening. Follow us on Instagram. WAITSB Podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. Guys, thanks for being on the episode. I don't know what else to say to make this intro interesting other than outro music.
Outro music.
Why?
Outro music.
Shayne said it for both of you.